In this video, I'm going to show you how you can retire by 40, or in other words, how to achieve financial independence with dividend investing. Now listen, I know it sounds crazy, I know it sounds impossible, right? How can someone retire so early? But in this video, I'm going to prove to you that not only is it actually very achievable, but you're probably closer to financial independence than you believe. Without further ado, let's begin. Hello everyone, my name is Ricardo Torres. I'm the founder of Escaping to Freedom, where I teach people how to get more freedom in their lives through dividend investing. And I assume that's the reason you're watching this video, right? You want more freedom in your life. You don't want to have to work until you're 65 or 70, right? Now, the sad truth is that most people will have to work until they have to, okay? They will not have saved enough money to be able to generate any significant passive income. And that is the key, guys. Passive income. If you don't know what passive income is, it's the opposite to active income. Active income is what you do at your job. You trade your time in exchange for money. The more you work, the more money you earn, right? That's how it works. That's called active income, and that's not what you're going to need if you want to retire by 40. What you're going to need is passive income. That's money that your assets are producing, your stocks, your rental properties, things like that you don't have to do any work in order to earn. And what I really mean is zero work, making money while you sleep. What I'm going to show you in this video is how to earn dividends to be able to cover all your expenses, because dividends are true passive income. You literally have to do nothing to earn a dividend besides actually owning shares of a stock that pays a dividend. That is it. And as Warren Buffett famously said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you're going to have to work until you die. I remember reading this quote back in the day, back when I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I did not understand money at all. I was definitely, part of the rat race. I was going to have to work until I was 65 or more. And then I remember reading this quote by Warren Buffett. And that's kind of one of the things that got me interested in earning passive income through dividends. And now I'm well on my way to getting there. I'm well on my way to actually getting to the point where I can retire by 40 if I want to. And that's the key, guys. It all comes down to freedom. The freedom to take a holiday if you want to not have to listen to a boss, to be able to choose how you spend your time. That is the concept of freedom and passive income, okay? That's why this movement called the FIRE movement, or Financial Independence Retire Early, has picked up so much steam in the last few years. People really want to have choice. People don't have to depend on a job and have to work until they just can't work anymore, okay? So if you are one of those people that is interested in retiring early, and I mean very early, okay, before the age of 40, then what I'm going to show you right now in a spreadsheet that you'll see in a second is probably going to change the way you see things, okay? At least it was really powerful when I first discovered it. When I've shown it to my clients, they absolutely love it. So yeah, I'm basically going to show you a spreadsheet. It's called the Financial Independence Calculator. I'll put a link below in the description of this video. It's completely free. You can download it and you can just play around, okay? So now let's jump into my screen and let me show you how you can retire by the age of 40 using dividend stocks. Okay guys, here we go. This is the Financial Independence Calculator. Like I said, it's completely free. Be sure to check it out, download it, and just play around with it, all right? Because this will really shed a lot of light on what you can actually do with your money. It's pretty insane how compound interest works, okay? And if you don't know what that is, I've made a video about compound interest. I'll link it here above somewhere. It's incredible how powerful this is and how with time you can achieve incredible things with your money that allow you to be able to, retire early or travel the world if you want to, all right? That kind of freedom, I think, is only really achievable with having money and investing it in assets that give you passive income, all right? So what I'm gonna do now is actually show you 3 different examples of 3 different, people or situations, and how, depending on how much you save and how much you invest and several other factors, you will be able to actually achieve financial independence very early in life. So the way this spreadsheet works is that there are certain inputs which are at the top, and then at the bottom, this is kind of like a simulation of what would happen every year. The first year is the current year, which is 2020. And over here, you can put your age, which you can actually edit here, all right? Now, these colored boxes, okay, don't judge me on the colors. I made this quite a few years ago. They're not the most pretty colors, but these are all the assumptions that you are going to make to actually calculate all of these results, all right? Things like the growth of your stocks, the growth of your stock price, the amount of input, the amount of savings that you can actually increase every year consistently. Again, feel free to change this to what you think is more realistic. This accounts for things like changing jobs and getting promotions, okay? It's very hard to be able to put that into a mathematical model, but feel free to change this as you please. Then over here, you've got your estimated dividend growth, okay? How much the dividend is going to increase every year for your overall portfolio. Obviously, this works a lot better if you invest in dividend growth stocks. If you want to know anything about dividend growth stocks, I make these videos every single week, guys. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like if you're finding it useful. It really, really helps this channel a lot, so I really appreciate it, guys. Then we've also got the tax rate at which your dividends are taxed, because the taxes are really important in working out anything. And then also your dividend yield, your average starting dividend yield. And finally, something that not really enough calculators actually take into account, and that is inflation, guys. Inflation, it's really the biggest killer of wealth, so you should really be accounting for inflation in your calculations. Anyway, for these examples, these are the values that I'm going to use as a default, okay? Again, feel free to change them as you please. And what I'm going to do now is basically reset everything, at least the top inputs, and I'm going to walk you through it, all right? So let's say you are a 25-year-old. It doesn't matter if you're older, if you're younger, this is just an example, but hopefully it's going to illustrate just how powerful this is, okay? So let's just put 25 there. Then we have to put your starting assets. How much money are you starting with? It could be zero, it could be 10,000, it could be $500, it doesn't matter. Now, for the purpose of this example, I'm going to use an article by Business Insider that I read, and basically the average person in the 20s has around $3,700 saved. Now, obviously, that is the median, okay? That takes into account every single person in the 20s. People in the 20s are not that great at saving, okay? So if you're watching this, there's a good chance that you've got more savings than that. You're more conscious with money. That's why I'm going to go for $10,000 in starting assets, okay? So a 25-year-old with $10,000 in starting assets that they invest straight away, all right? And as you can see, things have started to populate. Now, the next thing that we have to put in before this all works is your net yearly income. Again, I'm going to assume that at 25, you haven't got an amazing salary. Hopefully you do, and then you can actually save even more. But what I'm gonna do is just say $30,000 of net income, okay? After taxes, how much money do you actually take home every single month or every 2 weeks, okay? So 30,000 in 1 year. And then out of that, how much are you saving and investing, guys? This is the absolute key. Later in the video, I'm going to show you why this matters so much. But for the purpose of this example, let's say that you can save $10,000 out of those 30,000, okay? Your savings rate is 33%. I'll get into what the savings rate means later on, but basically you can now see the results. You can see that a 25-year-old in these circumstances, saving 1/3 of their income, starting with $10,000 and being 25 years old, would actually be able to reach financial independence at the age of 47. So that's 22 years from now. And if that's you when you're starting now, that will be the year 2042. What's also really cool about this calculator is that it kind of breaks everything down, okay? It tells you how much monthly do you have to put in, the overall amount that you would buy, also your yield on costs, your forward net dividends after taxes, because remember, we've actually input taxes, which in this case, I'm going to assume 20%, because that's kind of the case in a lot of countries in the world. And this is key, this is expenses inflated. Let me tell you what that means. So this all works under the assumption that whatever you can save, that money is what you actually need to live. So that's the money that you actually need to generate in passive income. In this example, you don't need to make $30,000 in passive income to live at this level. You only need to make $20,000, right? Because if you subtract those $10,000 that you are saving, you're left with $20,000. But obviously inflation takes its toll, and at 2%, your expenses every year would actually increase at 2% per year. So again, that kind of goalpost keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But that's okay, because in theory, your dividends are growing quicker than inflation, significantly quicker than inflation, and you can keep adding and adding and adding to your nest egg, to your portfolio, so that, by the age of 47 in this case, you are financially independent. And you can actually see here the percentage of your expenses that are covered by dividends. And if we scroll down, there you go, by the age of 47 or the year 2042, you would have a portfolio worth slightly over $1 million, spitting out $32,000 in dividends every single year. And that would more than cover your inflated expenses because they would be at around $31,000. And check what happens now, guys, okay? Because at this point, what the calculator assumes is that you stop putting any more money in, okay? You use your dividends to actually fund your life, to fund all your expenses. But guess what? Because dividends keep increasing, at least that's what they should do, right? You should be earning more dividends every year than you did the previous year. Because of the magic of dividend growth, your income would still keep growing. And that's actually what you can see over here. From this point, you don't have to put any more money into your investments. But the amount of money you've got still keeps growing and growing and growing. And the same thing happens with your passive income. So that, you know, by the age of 65, when you would normally have to retire, and bear in mind at this point, you've not put any more money into your savings since the age of 47. By the age of 65, you've got a portfolio worth almost $2.5 million, and that is producing almost $80,000 in dividends every single year. And that is after taxes as well, okay? I'm counting taxes again, you know, especially in the United States. I believe in certain situations, you don't even have to pay taxes on your dividends. So that's definitely something else to consider when you do these calculations. But now let's change the example. Let's say you're slightly older. Let's say you are 35 years old, but obviously at 35, you know, the older you are, the more money you've had time to actually save and the more money you can start with, right? It's like a little checkpoint in a video game, you know? You're further along, so you're starting with an advantage in terms of money saved. Obviously, if you're older and you've saved nothing, you are at a disadvantage because you don't have time on your side. But anyway, in the case of a 35-year-old, I'm going to assume that this person has $50,000 already saved, that they can invest in the stock market straight away. And I'm going to assume that their income is $50,000, right? But I'm also going to assume that this person realizes that they're starting maybe a little bit late, realizes that they want to retire as soon as possible. So they're going to save extremely aggressively. Instead of that 33% savings rate that the 25-year-old had, this person is going to save 60% of their income. And I know this sounds crazy and I know this sounds ridiculous, but plenty of people have done it. It's all about frugality. It's all about being able to live with less. And in this example, this person will be able to retire in 11 years by the age of 46. But the title of this video isn't how to retire at 46 or at 56, okay? The title of this video is how to retire by the age of 40. So what I'm gonna do is go back to the example of the 25-year-old, and I'm going to show you how just by saving a little bit more money, the results vary quite wildly, all right? And what you're going to notice straight away is that the starting assets don't actually make that much of a difference, you see? Their freedom age has gone from 47 years old to only 48 years old, okay? So basically, if you're young and you're starting with nothing, what matters the most is how much of your income you are able to save. So let's run with this, yeah? No starting assets at all, no savings, 25 years old, and that same $30,000 per year in net income. Now watch what happens when we increase the savings rates, okay? So from 33%, let's change it to 50%, right? There you go. All of a sudden, you can retire in 15 years at the age of 40 just by saving half of your income. And you know, as a 25-year-old not making an awful lot of income, this might be a lot trickier. The less you earn, the trickier it is, okay? I'm not going to pretend that anyone can do this. I just think that if you have a decent income and you're not too crazy with your spending, you can do this. You can save 30, 40, 50, even 70% of your income and achieve pretty crazy results in terms of reaching financial independence. So if you take anything away from this video, is that what matters the most in you reaching early retirement and financial independence at a relatively early age is your savings rate. That is the number one factor that makes the most difference. So, you know, learning how to be more frugal, spending a bit less, but also earning more, okay? I know it sounds easy to say, but earning more can have a massive effect in terms of your savings rate. If you can get that savings rate up significantly, then the time needed to actually reach financial independence is shortened so much, guys. It really is extremely, extremely powerful. Now, what I've not mentioned in this video, because I want to keep it a little bit shorter and not be another half an hour video like I sometimes make, I've not talked about actual investment. because I talk about that a lot in my other videos. So I'm going to put a playlist here about dividends and dividend growth investing. That's the other half of this picture, of this puzzle, right? It's one thing is saving money to invest. The other bit is investing well and in passive income producing assets. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video and that you've been able to realize that you might perhaps be a lot closer to retirement or early retirement than perhaps you thought, especially if you've already got some savings and you're a relatively frugal person. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel to grow. That's my main goal right now. And also subscribe to the channel. I release these videos every week. And if you actually want to embark on that journey to reach financial independence, this is the place to be, guys. So I'm going to be doing a lot more content. Let me know in the comments below if there are any questions you've got, or you want me to analyze a certain stock or a certain strategy. I'm looking for new ideas for future videos. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Once again, the link to that spreadsheet is in the comments. Just let me know what email address to send it to and I will do it completely free. And then you can actually play around and create a little plan for yourself. Anyway, that is all from me for now. I will see you in the next video. Take care.